Hello guys, welcome back to the channel or welcome into the channel. This is Lunar Goddess Tarot. I mainly focus on divine counterpart connections, but I also focus on the astrology of the day, of the week, of the month, of the year. I also focus on intuitive reading. So I read the cards with an intuitive style, as do many readers, and we all have our own unique style. I ask that you, when I'm talking about the energies of the divine feminine and divine masculine, that you apply these also to your inner divine feminine, inner divine masculine energies. Now, we are on the heels of the summer solstice that occurred yesterday here in the Western Hemisphere. And I want to talk about, or cover in this reading rather, the earthy energies that I'm picking up on, because I think we're really being asked to ground into these energies right now. And for many of you, it's been such a roller coaster this year. Although the energies, astrologically speaking, are smoother than last year, than 2020, here we are, June 21st, 2021, and it's still been very much a rocky road. And as you know, and a few of you have actually emailed me about, and I'm grateful for that, my energies, let's say a week or two ago, were very challenging. I was very challenged in my personal journey. So thank you for that reflection to those of you who have commented on that, because sometimes as a reader, it's hard, or just as a human on this journey, it's hard for us to see that. So I am in a gentler energy now, pretty exhausted. What's happening? Well, I'm going to talk for a minute about what's happening before we get into the card portion of the reading, because this is a very important update on the divine masculine energy. Very important. But if you guys are looking for personal readings, please reach out to me at the email listed below. You can also check out my Patreon. There will be a new Patreon video tonight, and the Patreon videos tend to be either a different topic than I'm discussing on YouTube. They're more in depth and just more. Okay, I don't know how to put that into words. You can check out, there's 5 different levels. It's a monthly subscription. Some of you are already familiar with Patreon or may even have your own Patreons. So I thank you all for your support over there. I know that June I haven't been consistent. I recognize that with posting. So I am working on that. The energy fluctuations have been so challenging the past 4 months, but I am aware of that. And I do appreciate the patience that you guys have shown and the understanding that you've shown towards me, both here and on Patreon. So I will work on that over these last 11 days here of June to make sure that I get some more content out to you. I'm really, really viscerally aware of that. So I want to thank you for still being here. And thank you for helping us hit 12,000 subscribers. That's really exciting, and I can't wait until we continue to climb. So let's talk for a minute about the divine masculine energies. The divine masculine right now has really been pushed into an awakening. In fact, divine masculines are reaching out to me not only in dream state, as I've been discussing, but also in the 3D, in my 3D world here, in my actual 3D life, and they've been reaching out to me via email. And so I'm thankful that I'm able to hold that container in that space for the divine masculine energy. Father's Day brought up a lot of purging for the collective, as I discussed yesterday in my video. So if you haven't watched that, it's an important one, especially if you were challenged by the Father's Day energies. Either you had an absent father, physically or emotionally. You had a father that has passed. Maybe you didn't have a father figure at all. Or you have a challenging relationship with your father, then you want to listen to that video, because it really talks about the turbulent energy that we experienced over the weekend and that we're perhaps still experiencing. But mostly what's coming up today is the exhaustion, the physical, mental, emotional exhaustion that you'll be feeling just widespread. Also on the left side of the body, there are a lot of physical ailments happening. Lower back pain being tremendously, acutely, poignantly occurring right now. So lower back pain, but all up through, really from the left hip all the way up to the left side of your neck, even like as far up into the cranial bones. So you guys may be experiencing all of that or some of that. In fact, the whole left side of my body has been out of alignment, which tells me that I have been neglecting the masculine energy. So one way in which this will show up for you guys is if your masculine, your physical masculine, isn't acting. How are you not stepping into action in your own life? How are you not following through with things in your own life? And this has been a rude awakening for myself and many other DFs that are on the journey that I speak to daily. And so you want to just really tune into that. Where is it that I'm not showing up for myself, or that I'm not following through on a project or on a commitment or a promise to myself or to others? So very important energy is coming up. And I also want to highlight for those of you who are feeling this energy, it may be beneficial to see a chiropractor, a physical therapist, or a massage therapist who has real deep body anatomy knowledge to help you work out some of these actual kinks in your body, because it's almost like the left side of my body has shut down. It's been really challenging. Yoga is a great practice to implement as well, either by itself or in addition to other things that you may be doing. But the divine masculines, wow. See, my masculine energy has suffered. The divine masculines are really suffering at this time. Less so today than yesterday, but the weekend was very challenging, and they've been forced to awaken abruptly and very quickly, versus the feminine, who had, some of us, decades to awaken, years, decades to awaken. The masculines essentially awakened last year, the end of 2019, I would say, actually, end of 2019 until now. So that's what, a year and a half, 2 years almost. Not a very long time comparatively to the feminine's journey. So you just want to send compassionate energy right now to the divine masculine energy, both within and without. And a lot of these masculines are a lot more awake and aware than we realize or recognize. And so perhaps you can ask yourself, where is it that I am not honoring the divine masculine energy of action and logic and leadership in my own life? And how is that showing itself in my physical world? How is that presenting itself? So you can journal about this. You can discuss it with other feminines or masculines, but I think it's really important that we understand that. So that being said, creating that honoring space for the masculine energy, I do want to step into the card portion of the reading. So we're going to look into the Wild Unknown Tarot, which I kind of hesitated because, as some of you have commented, it is a very, the energy here in these cards, it's more of a shadow deck. It's a darker deck, not a darker deck, but I mean, yeah, I guess it can be. But yeah, it really, really assists us with looking at the shadow energy. Okay, so I just want to look into this with you guys and see where we might gather or glean some new information. Clearly, that's too many cards. So let's take a look, and I'd like to just call in the archangels of the highest high, of the highest order. I like to call in my guidance, my team, my light team, as well as my highest self, as well as the inner feminine and inner masculine within myself, creating the inner union, as well as my ancestors. And in particular, I'm really feeling Archangel Raphael today. So Archangel Raphael and Archangel Jophiel has been coming through very steadfastly as well to bring in the beauty, because as I've stated, the feminines have been working through a lot of body distortion energies. Okay, so overall energies here for the divine counterparts. Yeah, that strength card really wants to pop out here. The strength card has been popping out over and over and over in nearly every single reading. So the strength card, the energy of Leo. So we have a fiery energy here. Very, in this deck, this is the courage that comes from following the guidance of your heart. you know, in the deck yesterday, we had the Strength card. I can't remember, honestly, which, oh, I think I used the Syrian Starseed Tarot, and it was actually a tiger, and it was a ferocious tiger, but this is a much gentler energy. So this is a softer energy that's coming through today for just the overarching energy of the connections. And, you know, the sun is shining down upon Leo because Leo's ruled by the sun, and Leo sits in the 5th house, which really is a sunny house. Leo is in the sunniest house, I think, of all the 12 houses, because Leo energy deals with family, more so children. So, right, children, fun, playfulness, lightheartedness, heart-centered relationships and conversations and living. So it's really a beautiful energy that's coming through here. And we have, of course, the infinity symbol, the sun, and the rose, just all really beautiful symbols to receive at this time on the heels of such a challenging weekend, emotionally speaking and physically speaking. And then the 3 of Pentacles, you know, we have the mountain here in this particular deck. So 3 of Pentacles talks about working together in harmony, working together in the 3D world. I think this is really that Trinity energy. A lot of feminines are, you know, you're finding yourselves in divine feminine circles or divine feminine groups, and you're all contributing your own strengths, right? So you're building on each other's strengths, and you're supporting one another. And I feel like this is that beautiful energy, that flow of energy flowing between, flowing between all of the divine feminines, and assisting all of you in ascending higher, right? The ascension here, the ascension journey is being highlighted here as well. So finding strength on this ascension journey and remembering that you're not alone. I think a theme from this weekend also that I was gathering from the collective, because we were doing a lot of past life healing this weekend again, guys. One of the themes was being alone, feeling lonely, feeling like there's no one to turn to or no one that understands. And I think that's really just such a challenging energy for anyone, but you add on all of the complexities, the challenges, the very unique challenges of this journey, and you've got sort of a recipe for confusion and pain. So I think this is really important that we are leaning on one another and that we are really starting to build something here in the 3D. Okay, so let's take a look at the masculine energies here. So the masculine energy, you definitely, the confirmation of what I was speaking about earlier in the reading here, very challenged, 10 of Swords, feeling burdened by life and feeling burdened perhaps by the journey. What always strikes me in this particular deck is you have a bull here and you've got the swords in the back of the bull, which wouldn't necessarily render him unable to function because he's such a strong, powerful beast. And I think the swords would have to pierce and penetrate many layers of skin and flesh. So some of those even look kind of superficial, right? But then the one that goes through his eyes. So to me, that's an indication that perhaps the bull is not able to see clearly. And when you're not seeing clearly, you are in this just intense, intense shadow energy. It's like someone has taken out his ability to see the truth. He may be challenged right now. The masculine energy may be challenged right now to see where this is all leading and how this could all be leading to a good place. I think that sometimes the masculines on this journey through, this awakening journey that they're on, as they realize, the illusions that they've been fed their entire lives, the stories that they have fed into that other people have fed them, you know, the lies and deception, the lies that they believed or that they were disguised as truth. I just think they're like, they've been shocked, you know, into awakening. And whereas again, the feminine had more time. There's a little bit of energy here of like hitting rock bottom, honestly. But in other decks, you'll see the Ten of Swords as somebody walking away from something tragic, walking away from pain, walking away from trauma. So let's get a clarifier here for the Ten of Swords. I'm going to pull in the trusted and tried and true. I'm going to pull in a card from the Light Seers deck. So let's take a look here. Can you please clarify the Ten of Swords? Ten of Swords for the masculine energy. Wow, I saw a few cards turn themselves around. They like turned around and then flipped back. The Chariot. Well, the Chariot could indicate swift movement or action, you know, following this sort of melodramatic period, this intense shadow work that they're doing. So that's positive. That's definitely a positive card that I would like to see on following the Ten of Swords here for the masculines. Let's see if there's another card. This could also mean, I just picked up on this intuitively, that with this card, the black stallion, the white stallion, that the masculines are having to choose between their negative thoughts and their more positive thoughts, that they're stuck between light and shadow work at this time. But I do think they're going to be pulled into the light here, especially with the Strength card continuing to come up over and over and over, and the Three of Pentacles, which talks about working together. If you guys want to follow a wonderful Divine Masculine on Instagram, Justin Tristao, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his last name correctly, but it's Tristao, I believe. He's a younger Divine Masculine. He's awakened and he's teaching others. He's a wonderful example of what a Divine Masculine is in this world, a shining light. And really, very much embodying this strength energy here. I've been following him for over a year, and he's grown, and he really is assisting. He's really such a supporter of the divine feminine within, and of course the feminine energy in general. So the feminine energy within and without, and understanding that the feminine energy is, you know, the energy of creation within all of us. Okay, so other clarifiers for the Ten of Swords for the masculine energy, the Sun. Look, I mean, we've got the strength in the Sun. Masculines are pulling through. So yes, this tells me, I mean, this is almost to me a clarifier for the Chariot. So the masculines are pulling through and they're headed towards the light. There's a great, great song by the Traveling Wilburys, an iconic band, that really a lesser known band, but it was Tom Petty, George Harrison. Gosh, I'm drawing a blank on the other two. There were 4 members: George Harrison, Tom Petty, Roy Orbison, and there was a 4th one. And really an iconic band, really upbeat, really positive, just fun. Like you could tell they just had a lot of fun working together. And what talent, right? What incredible talent in that group. But they, oh my gosh, and then I'm just hearing Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles. And then Headed for the Light by the Traveling Wilburys. 2 channeled songs to listen to for the masculine energy and to help uplift them also. So listening to that, listen to the lyrics, maybe some dancing, some movement, moving your masculine energy would really help to uplift the masculines at this time. So the Sun card radiating the positive energy, knowing that good things are to come, manifesting your desires and manifesting abundance and love, open-heartedness, absolutely, piercing through the heart of this woman, just allowing the joy, allowing the radiance. So we are moving back into that energy. Now we do have a full moon here that's coming up on the 24th, so I'll be talking about that as well. And so that could present its own set of challenges, as we know full moons like to do. So let's discuss that. But for now, let's keep our focus on the energies here post-summer solstice. Okay, so the Chariot, so this tells us that indeed the masculine energy is choosing the light. Okay, they're just like, they're making choices, or making better choices, or making choices that are, again, heart-based choices versus fear-based choices that they had made in the past. Let's put this over here. And then the Knight of Pentacles. There are definitely some masculines who are very purposefully driven towards abundance at this time, or rebuilding their abundance after the crash, so to speak, of last year. So I definitely feel like, in general, the masculines have struggled over the past year and a half, whereas the feminines sort of rose in their abundance over the past year and a half. So just, again, something to sort of, something to sort of just be mindful of or aware of. This card is has a really loyal and dedicated energy to it, also dedicated to the cause, dedicated to the path ahead. And the pentacles are just magnetically drawn towards this gentleman and following him. There's definitely a trustworthy energy about the Knight of Pentacles as well. But there can be a stubborn energy. So the shadow side to this is there can be a stubborn energy, or just the inability to see anyone else's point of view, especially when they're just so driven to move forward towards this abundance. So some masculines are really focused on their abundance at this time at the expense of relationships and other aspects of their life. But we've sort of known that. I think we've really accepted that. They still feel, some of them, that they have to have something to offer the divine feminine. So before I come in, I have to have something to physically, tangibly offer her. And the feminine's like, no, if you just offered your presence, that's tangible enough for me. That's so tangible. And so just wanting to have something that the feminine can hold. And the feminine's like, I can hold your hand, I can hold you, I can... so they're seeing things a little differently right now. But yeah, there are some masculines who are definitely more focused on their abundance, but that is leading them, that's the journey that they're on. It's leading them right towards the feminine and also back towards the light. So ultimately it's very positive and beneficial. So the feminine energy, please. Feminine energy. You are healing and recovering, feminine. And you're holding your heart very close by. You're sort of protecting. There's a protective mechanism or mode also to this card. It's like wanting to cocoon and nest and not wanting to necessarily go out into the world. Preferring to stay by yourself at this time. Preferring to stay indoors. And yeah, this could be a day of rest and cocooning for a lot of feminines. You feel exhausted, feminine. There's definitely an exhaustion to the Four of Swords. So let's take a look, feminine, at for this post-summer solstice energy. Let's take a look, feminine, at what has been your biggest challenge? Biggest challenge, believing in love, Knight of Cups. Believing in love again, believing in this journey, believing in your counterpart, believing in the process, believing that you two will reunite and come back together, especially for those of you who have been in a long-term separation of some sort. It's the energy of waiting for that romantic gesture and not having received it yet, or receiving maybe the complete opposite. Because again, I know some of you have been told by your masculines that it's over, it's permanently over. And so the feminine is just in this energy of acceptance and surrender because there's nothing else to do at that point. However, I do feel like we're going to, when we least expect it, we're going to receive that communication. I've been saying this for a long time. So you're most challenged by believing in love at this time, really needing to rest. Oh my gosh, look, you guys both got... So what's coming up, what you can't see coming is what I asked. And look, we've got the Sun card for both counterparts, different decks, the Sun card. I mean, this is a super, super positive omen, guys. I cannot stress this enough to have the Sun card come out twice in a reading, especially with the challenging energies that came up yesterday and that came up even today. I mean, not so much challenge. Well, yeah. Fuck yeah, the Ten of Swords is challenging. So yes, I forgot that was there. But for you guys both to receive that Sun card and for the feminine to receive the 10 of Cups here. Which way is it? Oh, it's that way. Okay. I guess it could really be either way, right? The 10 of Cups. And I love the way that these cards are designed. So all of your cups are filled, all 10 cups. You know, in the 4 of Cups or this 5 of Cups, you've got, or 8 of Cups, some cups are empty, you're walking away from them. This is it's like you're magnetically drawn towards this energy. And how can you not be? So feminine, you're about to step into or step foot towards so much abundance, but you can't yet see it, but I know that you can feel it. So we just have to get past this hurdle. We have to get past the illusion that, you know, this isn't going to happen or it's not meant to be. And a lot of you, you know, have come to me. I'm in this position of there's a soulmate that's presented themselves. It really is all about stepping towards joy and however joy looks to you. There really isn't a right or wrong choice that you can make on this journey. You're not forsaking your connection or your reunion or your union by dating someone else temporarily. There is no, that can't exist. What's yours is yours and can never be taken from you. So once you really settle into that knowledge and understand that the masculines are really fighting the good fight and that they are on the hero's journey and that they're not just sitting back doing nothing, even if it seems that way, you have to get past the illusions of the 3D. We all have to get past those illusions of the 3D because they can be so strong and so powerful. Look at where you're headed towards, feminine. Look at where you're headed towards. This is like the radiating light, radiating energy. I mean, look, it's literally coming out of these cards and coming towards the screen. There's an overflowing here. My cup overfloweth. My cup is filled. So your dreams are being realized, divine feminine. And you're so excited. There's so much excitement in these cards and light and radiation. You're going to be attracting people to you in your life. And that's why a lot of divine masculines are drawing towards the divine feminines at this time. Not only your divine masculine, but other divine masculines who are seeking guidance and assistance. People are going to come at you and be like, they're going to talk about your aura. They're going to talk about your energy. And they're just going to talk about you just radiating so much joy. So don't doubt this and keep your heart open. This is really about keeping your heart open, divine feminine. And I know how challenging that can be when sort of all you want to do is just shut it down, shut it off. Because that would be a lot easier in some ways because this journey takes so much out of us. But the only option, feminine, is to keep your hearts open, to keep your mind out of the equation, damn it. The sun also talks about vitality. And so it's interesting. We have the sun, the 2 sun cards, and then the strength card, which is also the sun. So really 3 suns in this reading. So much positivity that wants to shine through any darkness or shadows that you might currently be experiencing, divine feminine and divine masculine. So soak in the sun, be outside in nature. Know that whatever physical aches and pains you're having at this time can be melted away by the energy and nature of the sun. And there's so much vitality that wants to come through. And I know it might not feel that way, especially if you're feeling the fatigue that is coming up here in the 4 of Swords. But please, please look. The feminine's energy currently 4 of Swords, masculine's energy 10 of Swords. But look at both are in Swords energy. But look at what's next. Look at what's coming. You're going to be assured and you're going to receive clarity. You want to spend time in nature and outside, divine feminine, allowing the rays of the sun to actually penetrate your skin and penetrate your cells. And really absorb the life force energy of the sun at this time. It's so, so powerful. I was going to choose some other decks, but I think I'm just going to stick with these 2 tarot card decks, surprising myself. And I may get to those. other decks tomorrow or at a later reading today. Okay, so what is coming up here? We are headed towards the end of June into July. What is coming up here as we approach this full moon? And what is coming up here towards the end of the month for the counterparts? It's just, there's so many cards. Okay. See if you can just show me 1 or 2 cards, please. What is coming up here for the counterparts? Perfect. Interesting. There's going to be a lot of nostalgia. So with this nostalgia comes sort of an energy of longing potentially. And so something to be aware of, this is, I feel, what Spirit is showing us, something to be aware of here, guys, is because we have the 8 of Swords here. So there is some Swords energy present here. Swords energy, as you know, I try to explain this in my readings as best as I can. The Swords energy is the energy of the mind, right? The games the mind can play, or just the energy of sort of head over heart and needing to step away from the energy to find more clarity, stepping into the heart space. But yeah, I mean, this is also the energy of as above, so below. These are strong roots. These are colorful roots. These are roots that have been watered. And there's a history here. I'm hearing there's a rich history here with the counterparts, but there's a feeling that may come up here in the near future of feeling trapped or powerless. And again, I think that has to do, feminine, with this sort of inability to see how this could all work out, but for both of you in your own ways. And for the masculine, it could be just this energy, this Ten of Swords energy that he may need to just burn off. Like, I'm just hearing the sun will burn off these energies. So the sun is going to burn off the energies of the 4 of Swords for the feminine, and the sun's going to burn off the energies of the 10 of Swords for the masculine. This chrysalis here, interestingly enough, is being held up by a sword. And these swords here, these 7 swords, are threatening to penetrate this chrysalis, which would obviously ruin, you know, the butterfly that's within. It would prevent the butterfly from becoming a butterfly, but they're not touching. It's being held up by a sword. So it's like the sword is the enemy, but the sword is also the savior. And that's an interesting way to look at that, I think. But there is a feeling like if I fall or if I let go, like I'm going to be like not stabbed in the back, but that I may not, it's almost the energy of there's obstacles or threats down below, and so like needing to stay here, but if you stay here there's no action and nothing bad can happen, but then nothing moves forward. That's kind of how I'm reading that card. Spread your wings, open your wings. It's time to take flight. And it really is time, you know, to take this rich history that you have, but to drive it into the present. Present moment power is very strong right now, very viable right now. So it's like, what is keeping you suspended here? The 8 of Swords is often depicted as a woman blindfolded, and she's causing her own chaos. She is the chaos creator. So this is like the chaos creation energy here. You're causing the chaos within yourself. There's no one else blindfolding you. You know, it's like, who's holding up the swords? You are. You're holding up the swords in your own mind, causing the confusion, causing the fear. It's an illusion. You strip away your fears, those swords are going to disappear, and then you're just a chrysalis that's, you know, hanging by some miracle on a leaf, or you know, a string of a spider web, or whatever it might be. I don't know. The spider would probably eat the chrysalis, so that's probably that's probably not the right vision or the right image, but you catch the drift. So it's like there's an need for there's imminent danger, but it's only existing in your own mind. So it's really there's an energy of the mind here, even though this is like the heart energy. The 6 of Cups is the emotions. I do feel like this is also the energy of just being suspended in your own mind in the past. It's time to move forward, guys. It's time to move forward. And you know, if you've talked to anyone who's come into union, what they'll tell you, interestingly enough, is that when you come into union, especially after you spend some time in separation, a lengthy period in separation, I'm talking years, or you know, several months, neither of you will be the same person. So it will be a different connection. It will be a different energy. And I think we may have expectations that it's going to be the exact same. And there may be sort of a shock for some of us or some of you who think, oh, it's going to be the exact same. And then it ends up being something completely different. And you may feel a little powerless. But I think it could also be very exciting. Oh, we've changed, right? We have changed. We're not the same. So there's an energy here of wanting to sort of restore the past or wanting to revive the past, but needing to move on is what I'm hearing. Spread your wings, open your heart, and trust. The Eight of Pentacles also came out with those two cards, the Six of Cups, and interesting, a lot of eights here, and the Eight of Swords. So what I see here is, you know, this talks about the skill that a spider has, weaving the web with intricacy, with detail, really precision, attention to detail that the spider has. I mean, if you guys have ever seen an orb weaver weaving their web, they weave it every night. It takes about an hour, and then they take it down every morning. They're incredible craftsmen. It's craftsmanship. And it's really, they're a true master of what they do, of creating, of weaving this web, this beautiful, intricate web that has to be just so that all the pieces come together to create this net for the spider to fall into. Interestingly enough, it's like, I feel like that's what the Eight of Swords is looking for, is a safety net, but it's not there. But the danger is being created in your own mind. But then here's the safety net. There's the confidence that spider has. I mean, you watch them work and they work fast. They're not tentative, they're fast, they're confident. So a lot of times I talk about the Eight of Pentacles as being the card that I recognize as burning the midnight oil and really just putting your foot to the pedal and getting things done. It is a very masculine energy, in my opinion. It's the energy of taking action and confidence and leadership in your own life, and not procrastinating. It's the opposite of procrastination. Some of you will be finding a new hobby or a new passion project, something that you really, really, really enjoy. And it's going to consume you, but it's going to be a good consuming energy, like a good consumption. It's not going to be, negative consumption. It's not going to be like a trashy talk show that you're addicted to. It's going to be, you're excited you look forward to working on this masterpiece of yours. So these are the energies that are coming up. They're all very different, yes, but this is also a reminder, as this is coming up with the Six of Cups, the Eight of Pentacles, that this is a story that you're weaving. This is not the end. You're still in the middle of constructing the web. You're still in the middle of perfecting it, and to have more confidence in this story that you're creating with your counterpart, to have more confidence in the journey itself. So I hope this has been truly helpful and illuminating for you guys. If so, please do drop a like. Please subscribe to the channel and join us. And I really look forward to sharing with you guys in the next video. Have a beautiful night here post-summer solstice. Take great care, and I'll see you very soon.